How good that feel to kind of get in the groove?
I mean, especially back from Okie State week, I was still a little timid about my injury, but, as far as Texas Tech go, I felt like I could just go out there and be myself. So, you seen how it turned out, and, it was a good feeling for me to be back. So,
how fun was it to kind of do that with Avery out there and the way the defense has to pay attention to him?
I mean, it was good, man. You seen he was having fun out there, and especially as a freshman, you wouldn't expect that to be him. But we see it throughout the whole practice as far as his legs and arm and stuff like that. So it was a good experience for him to be out there too.
You can be an athlete as a true freshman, but how surprised are you about his leadership?
Man, throughout our workouts, it was like the first 2 months he probably was a little quiet and stuff like that, trying to get emotional things. But, as far as he getting comfortable with us, he started talking more. And you see throughout the game in the halftime, he was waiting for people and, dapping people up and everything. So, he's going on the right track to be a leader, man. And, going to be a credible leader, too.
Things like that, when he did that at halftime, I think he was one of the last guys to go into the locker room. What's that mean to the team?
It means a lot. It means, we care about each other, we trust each other, and, ultimately got to depend on each other to get the job done, whether it's defense and offense, we got to be one court. So, doing that, show that he cared about people.
Speaking of comfort level, where do you feel like yours is right now?
I'm confident as I can be right now, especially after that game. I was a little timid going into that game, but when I got my first hit and, that first hit in that area, I just feel like I can go. So, I mean, my confidence is at a whole-time high right now.
How big is selflessness on this team? You and DJ have kind of had to be selfless based on who's going to get the reps, and now Will and Avery kind of have to do the same thing.
I mean, that's part of our core values, man, being selfless. And, that's something that we go by every day. And, you got to be selfless to be okay, maybe it's not your turn and maybe it's somebody else's turn. You still got to be there for them and, trust the people around you. So, I mean, it's what are our four core values. So, I mean, it's emphasized here a lot.
Do you derive that ability to make the first guy miss or be able to spin off of that tackle?
Oh, yeah, man. I thrive on making the first guy miss, and that's a part of my game. And, that spin move was something just so natural. I just seen it, and, I didn't even try to think about it. It was just something so natural. So, I mean, that's a part of my game, making people miss and don't like to get hit. So, yeah.
How good was the offensive line on Saturday?
I mean, you could see it. I mean, the goal, the holes they was creating, and having that type of chemistry with that offensive line, man. You're going to see stuff like that. And for the game, they were just telling me to trust them. And, I trusted them, and you see what happened. So tip my hats off to them because without them, I wouldn't have been able to do what I was doing.